Bueno, ¿hay algo más fascinante que la naturaleza? Yo creo que no. Hoy estamos con el productor ejecutivo y asistente Dan y I'm super excited to be here because now we're talking about underdogs, the animals and species that we don't barely know, right? They are new for me.
Yeah, that was the whole intention of the series. We wanted to put a light on the animals who don't usually get to be the stars of the show.
But it's a show no es un tradicional documental. It's not traditional because you're going to have a lot of fun. It's like be another side of the story. You have like characters with the species, right?
Oh gosh, every animal has its own personality, and we're really lucky that they all have their own natural comedy and really fun personalities that we can bring out that you wouldn't necessarily see in a traditional show.
That's so fun. So you're going to see, for example, superheroes, no Super Zero. How do you say the name?
Super Zeros.
Super Zeros.
Super Zero.
Because they're like anti-heroes. They are so funny. And then you have disaster parents, something like that. What is?
Terrible parents. Yeah.
Tell me about that chapter.
Well, yeah, the terrible parents are, if you think, we all think we're bad at parenting. We all think we make terrible mistakes.
Yes.
Don't worry, you can't be as bad as these guys. The things they do are just shockingly bad.
Like what? A little spoiler.
Well, there's the goose that lays its eggs right on top of a cliff, and then when the tiny little babies are born, after a day, they just push them off.
No.
And they have to they either make it or they don't make it.
Oh my God, so sad. And for you, what was the most exciting thing to do with the shooting? Is there a specific moment that you remember?
So I was on the shoot for Russ, which is a wading bird, and they're super interesting characters. They actually have 4 very distinct genetic sexes. There's 3 different types of males and 1 female, and we were trying to get the story of one of those males, but they actually make up less than 1% of the male population, so super rare. And it was a 3-week shoot, and for the 90% of it we didn't see that behaviour, so we were, oh gosh, is it going to happen? And then it was the second last day we saw the behaviour and we managed to get the shot, so that was a really jubilant moment for everyone.
Wow, it's going to be challenging for forever remembering. And you also shot in different countries. How many? 27?
27 different countries, yeah. Every continent apart from Antarctica. So yeah, the huge logistical operation. It was,
Wow.
amazing.
And I was asking behind the scenes, what's your favorite safari? Because you try everything. We're here in Animal Kingdom. We just did a safari in Animal Kingdom, but you did a lot of them. So which one is your favorite? If you, I don't know, I'm watching TV right now. I want to do a safari. Where I have to go?
It's such a hard question. There are so many amazing places in the world, but I think of all the ones in this series, the place I love the most is a place called Ngorongoro Crater in Tanzania. So it's an extinct volcano. So about, thousands of years ago, there was a huge volcanic eruption. Now there's a crater, it's about 10 kilometers across. It's really huge. But the floor of the volcano, it's all volcanic soil, so it's really fertile. So it's full of animals, absolutely full of them. It's full of lions and leopards and all the African animals you can think of. So that is a pretty amazing location. We went there and we filmed our hyena sequence there. It's got the biggest hyena population in the world. So that's pretty spectacular.
That's in the bucket list.
Yeah,
Special
bucket
place.
list, yeah.
I love that. And if we're talking about animals, we're talking about food. How do you feel, eating food in between, that safaris? You, try different kind of foods in the countries. You feel okay, or it was a challenge? Because many people also eat insects. What do you think? Now if you're shooting with them, you feel sorry for them or no?
So it's actually a real mix when we go on location. Sometimes we're cooking for ourselves and sometimes we're able to have some of the local food. I'd say the most delicious food on any of the shoots was actually in Kenya when I was filming for the Thompson's Gazelle. And it's just, amazing food. And unfortunately, all of that filming is from a vehicle, so you're not moving very much every day, and there's a lot of delicious food around. So over the course of 3 or 4 weeks, you can feel it.
You feel the change in your diet. And then you have an amazing narrator of your documentary, Ryan Reynolds, oh my God, from Hollywood. And when he joined to the project, in the beginning, in the middle,
he was on from the very beginning. Usually on these sorts of shows, the narrator comes in right at the very end. You don't know who the narrator is going to be until you finish the show, and then sometimes you look back and think, if only I'd known it was going to be that person, I'd have changed it. But on this, Ryan was in right from the beginning, and we worked with his team to design all the stories, to select the characters. So we always had his voice in our heads when we made the show. So I think it makes a really big difference, and he's an amazing talent.
And maybe next time he wants to join to the shooting too, right?
That would be great. We've invited him along. He's a busy man, but no, he loves animals. He likes watching National Geographic shows with his kids. He's always talking about it. So he was so excited about doing that. So he'll probably want to bring his kids along on one of the shoots. Yeah.
And we were talking about the amazing writers that you have, because it was so funny, but also the amazing photography is a piece of art. Each frame, they have really good art, lighting. So tell me more about the audiovisual thing, because you were working like super perfectly in each frame.
So we are working with very specialist cameras a lot of the time, and they'll be different for each sheet. So for nocturnal sheets like the II sheet, we had specialist low light cameras, and we had to light the forest in a certain way to mimic moonlight as well. And then we're also borrowing techniques from the kind of wider film industry, trying to use things like jibs to recreate those really filmic shots. Yeah.
And last night you told me that you work and research a lot before shooting, so you expect many of the behavior and reaction of the insects and animals, right?
Yeah, absolutely. We write the script, we storyboard everything, so we go out with a really clear idea of what we want to film. But sometimes the animals don't do what we want them to do. They won't take direction. So sometimes we get things we didn't expect to get. Sometimes we don't get what we wanted to get, and so we just tell the story of what actually happened.
And shooting so many years and months with these amazing animals, what did you learn? Do you have like something that you want to share with us?
I think the amazing thing about this job is you learn something new every single day, and a lot of the times you're working with scientists who specialise in that animal, but even they're learning on the job as well. To go back to the ruffs again, something that we saw that hadn't been written about very often was the fact that they pretend to be females in their behaviour as well as their looks. Yeah, they will allow the other males to mate with them to really sell their role as a female mimic. So that was really fascinating to be able to go back through the footage and see it happening over and over again. Wow. Yeah.
And for you, what was the message?
Well, I think the big message is that every animal has a great story to tell. I think even the animals you might think are a bit weird or gross or strange, they've all got amazing stories, and that's what hopefully the series is funny, but hopefully you're also going to learn a lot of things from it and be amazed. We should be amused and amazed, I think.
And your favorite, for example, for me, I don't know, I love the invisible frog. That was amazing. Ricky, is the name? Eric was amazing. And for you, what's your favorite animal?
I think that's so hard to choose. I don't know. Yeah, I think they're all amazing in their own way. It was really special to be able to see a baby II in the wild. That was really cool, because I've spent a lot of time in Madagascar and I've not seen IIs because they're really secretive and normally very scared of humans. So be able to see not only IIs but also a baby learning its way around the forest was really special. Yeah.
Amazing. And for you?
Sure, it's maybe a bit childish, but I like the pearlfish a lot because it's such an amazing story. This is this tiny little fish. It's only like this long and really, really skinny, and they live on the coral reefs in Polynesia, and Elle went to film them. And when they're scared or when they're under threat from a predator, they go and hide up the backside of a sea cucumber, inside the anus of a sea cucumber, but it's kind of amazing, And sea cucumbers are really very, very poisonous, but the fish is covered in a sort of special mucus, so it can hide in there without getting poisoned. So it's kind of weird and bizarre, but amazing, It's still amazing, isn't it? The things that nature can do is incredible.
Congratulations, because you have a masterpiece here, because it's so funny for all the family. Everything is going to have fun, and I think our world needs more of this content. We need to learn more from nature, right?
Yeah. nature needs us, but we need nature too.
We're going to expect another season soon?
I hope so. I hope so. Ask National Geographic. We have our fingers crossed.
Thank you so much. Y todas las chicas guapas ya pueden ver Underdogs por National Geographic o Disney Plus. Un lujo absoluto. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Gracias.